Hello guys, my name is SubZeroExtabyte and I am having a fantastic day. And I hope you guys are having a fantastic day as well, and if not yet hope you are going to have a fantastic day. But I think I know a certain way how I can make your day fantastic, and that is what we are going to do right now. Because we are going to explore this area. As you could have seen in the intro, Steve left the server because of the animal he saw. But don't worry, I am going to follow his path and see what kind of new animals there are in this area. So without further ado, let's get going, shall we? I think that would be too much for them. A bit of everything is better than everything the same. Talking about not making everything the same, well, I think we should try to find two different animals. I think one just won't work out for them. If we make two, then they could move from one to the other, and I also make another spot where they could get together. But I don't know if I am gonna call that a house, because that just will be a couple of blocks and some fences around it. So let's call that a meeting point for now. So we will be making two houses and one meeting point for the wolves. I think that should do the job of keeping them happy and together. Because you see, the main reason I am doing this is because I always have problem when I try to pet wolves, and that is that they keep walking away. So I leave them one day and suddenly they are gone. Do they need attention every day, or am I doing something wrong? I have no idea. Hold up, there might be something else. Maybe mobs attack them overnight when I am gone. Could that be a possibility? Because if that is the problem, or what was laying there for me to solve, it need to handle fast and make the houses as soon as possible. Yes, I think I am pretty sure that the wolves get attacked in the night and I didn't even notice so that is kind of weird. Normally I am an expert at everything that involves mobs, but this thing I just didn't realize. But that isn't a problem anymore, because with the houses I am gone build, they will be safe and there will be a lot of light, so they are not able to spawn nearby. So I think it is time for us to spawn in more wolves and make baby wolves. Yes guys, we are gone spawn in more wolves. I like the idea of that. If you are wondering why I am not gone look for them and bring them in, well, that is because I am just savage and I can do whatever I want. Ha ha. No, I am just too lazy to do all the finding work, so then I just spawn them, and there is nothing wrong with spawning things guys. Minecraft is made to spawn things, so we are all good. Yes, so yes, I think this is enough wolves, or should we do more? No, I think this is enough for the time being. But there is something that is missing and I have no idea what. Oh, I think I know. Yes guys, we miss beds in here where the wolves can sleep on. Beds are really important, so they can sleep here as well. Again, a wonderful idea of mine. I am coming up with so much great ideas guys that I maybe should be professor. Ha ha ha, professor of the wolves. Who had ever thought that I could be a professor? No, I am kidding. I can't be a professor. I have a lot of things to do. I have no time to be a professor. So now let's start training these wolves. I will use a method of training that I saw in the training camp, where they run around the fields and look for targets that they could attack. Like for example, a sheep is a good target. They will learn how to protect me and put in an attack. Something really important is that you are gonna need to thrust the wolves with whatever they do. Sometimes wolves can be better at handling situations, so don't get in shock if they do something without you asking. That might just be that they are protecting you. That is why I like the wolves. They are great listeners, but they can also decide what to in some really hard situations. So that said, you now kind of getting to know how the wolves think. Always remember that. I will tell you a story that happened to me when I only had one wolf in my early days of Minecraft. I just started playing and I didn't know that much about the game. Thankfully I already made a friend that kind of explained me how everything works. So this friend told me that I should get a wolf as soon as possible, because they just help you a lot with anything you do. So that is what I did. Went looking for a wolf and I found him and petted him and everything. I even made his own playing area. He was really good wolf. So one day I went mining in this huge cave where there was almost everything I needed, from irons to diamonds, everything. It was just the perfect place to mine. So yes, I started mining. Everything went well. My wolf was by my side all the time, so I never really felt lonely. Suddenly when I was mining, I hear the wolf attacking something. I turned around and didn't really see what was going on, so I putted some torches down to see what he was doing, and there he was fighting solo with a group of mobs. It made me so proud to see him protecting me that I didn't see him as a wolf from that moment on, but as a real friend that was always beside me. He was there for a long time, but one day I was working in the garden. It was normal day, nothing really special. Suddenly I didn't see the wolf, my friend, anywhere. He just left me, like our whole friendship didn't mean anything for him. Maybe there was something really important he had to leave for, but until this day I have no idea. Maybe one day he will come back, but for now we will train these wolves. And look at them, there are so much of them. I don't know if I can give them all a name, because first, just like at the Olympics, we have got something that a guy needs to run to and take something. At the Olympics they have that whole torch stuff, but right here at the Sub Olympics, we don't have that. but we have a chest where all of the stuff is in that is going to be necessary for the fight, so we need a lot of stuff in there, because we want a lot of different golems. But now I am curious to if the more poop block golems are going to be worse than, for example, diamond or something. Will that be true, or is it just that all of the golems are going to be the same? Because then I can just call them the color of their skin, and then for example a diamond golem is going to be called light blue Gary, and then I will be able to kind of separate them from each other, so that is just going to be really great. So, we have got a lot of blocks now, and we are just going to place all of this in the chest, and then the chest is going to be very holy because all of the stuff that we are going to need in the future and now is going to be inside of that chest. But we are still busy with picking the right blocks since I need to think before I get them. But I mean all of these blocks, some of them are really amazing, like of course the dirt block. Oh my god, that block is just the best. If you build a house out of that block, then you are just a genius. No, obviously I am joking, but actually, the grass block is kind of alright since it is just a dirt block, but then with a bit of grass on its head. It is like it is hair, and the normal dirt block is bald, but the grass blocks, its color is green. And then you also have the snow dirt block, which is just a blonde dirt. Then you also have that purple one that the mushroom islands have, and I am not sure what that one is called. But I guess that if you have got that color hair, then you just like mushrooms or something. So is that good? I don't know. What I do know is that there are a lot of really cool blocks as well, and then I am not talking dirt cool, but then I am literally talking cool, like in the way of diamonds and gold and silver and emeralds, and oh my god, yes, those things are just really amazing to me. So those things are in my inventory as well, and those are the cool blocks. If they would get transported, they would be at the back of the bus. That is how cool those blocks are. But now the time has come that we place some golems down, and they are not all named Gary, but a lot of them are named Gary. So Gary number 1 is made out of sandstone, and he is a cool one. Then you have smarter Gary, which is made out of bookshelves, so he has a lot of knowledge. Then third Gary is made out of bushes. The fourth one is a hothead, and he has a netherrack one. Then you have normal Gary, which is made out of iron. His big brother next to him, Golden Gary. Then we upgrade even more to Diamond Gary, which looks insane. After that the infamous Brick Gary comes. He is really well known for his actions back in the day, since he is kind of the cool aid guy. But then from the golems, right after that the Emerald Gary comes, and he is just a sweetheart, so that is just fantastic. But now almost all of the really cool golems are in the arena, so that is really cool. But what is even more cool is that if I take a pumpkin, then I can start placing them on their heads, and then the party will start. So, let's go ahead, and we have summoned Sweetheart Gary. Then Brick Gary is still asleep and he doesn't want to, so let's delete. Then Diamond Gary with a strange forehead. We also have Golden Gary in here, Normal Gary, Netherrack Gary is also a sleeper, so let's delete that one as well. Bush Gary is kind of cool. Wait, no, there is no Bush Gary. That is Bush George, also known as George Bush. Knowledge Gary looks really cool. And also Sandstone Gary is a guy that just has that amazing skin. He is just perfect. But now all of my friends are in here, and I believe that they were supposed to be with 9, but 2 didn't want to wake up, so 9 minus 2 is 7, and we have ended up with 7 golems. Which one of them is George Bush? We also have Normal Gary, and then we have a couple other Garys, but as you could see, these Garys like to fight, so that is good. If we just spawn one zombie, then the zombie just gets bullied. But what if there's an entire horde here to mess with? The golems? Well, the golems just take their time and they just kind of triple team some solo zombies, and that just looks fantastic. But the zombies get launched against the fences, so they now just kind of chill there, which was not supposed to happen, but it still happened, and that is not really good for business, because if there were people on the other side of the fence that were spectators, then they would be really afraid since there is a zombie in front of them on the other side of the fence. But if you have got some daredevils, then those daredevils can just push them back into the arena, and they will see the zombies flying again in just a couple of seconds, so it kind of pays off, which is just fantastic. But these Garys really mean business. They are real fighters, which is good. But would you take a look at all of this rotten flesh that is all around inside of the arena? That is enough to feed entire families. Oh my god, that is like 35 rotten flesh pieces. Wait, no, even 36. That is then the number of all of the zombies that have died inside of the arena, let alone those that don't spawn rotten flesh and the ones that were thrown out of the arena. Where did they go? They just kind of vanished. but that is okay since now I have got creepers and I don't believe that golems are actually that keen on creepers, but it seems like they are just kind of friends but not really, they just kind of throw them into the air and the creepers are just okay with that. They even blew up a side of the inside floor which is going to take some time and effort to replace, I guess. But these golems are not to be messed around with. They will flip you to another dimension, and they have been hit a couple of times by the creepers now but there is no sign that they are hurt or whatever, so that is kind of strange I guess. But they are just chilling, but they have got more creepers to deal with for now, so they are just going to amuse themselves. But as you can see, if they don't like a specific creeper then they just like to throw that creeper into the air, and the creepers does not like that. So if it is a smart creeper he knows that he is going to die anyway, so he might as well blow up. But most of them don't do that, which is great since otherwise the golems would die faster, and I can't see George anymore, so I guess we have lost a man, and I don't remember but I believe that there is one, or gone. I think it is Sandstone Gary. Oh no, he was one of my favorites and now he is gone. That is so sad. So, we are just going to watch which golem is going to stay the longest in the arena, and that golem is going to win I guess. But I kind of have enough of these creepers, and as I am not an iron golem I can still kill the creepers with a diamond sword, and this sword is even more amazing than just throwing your enemies into the air like it is nothing. But the creepers all looked so confused when I came at them, but I guess that is what happens when you are a creeper. A lot of surprises. So we are just chilling with the iron golems right now, and I believe the two have died then, but I don't see Bookshelf Gary anymore, so he is gone as well. But now we have a replacement, and that is Bedrock Gary, and we don't need any other Garys anymore since Bedrock Gary is the most tough Gary that you can think of. So now all of the golems can go away, and I think that Bedrock Gary is kind of enjoying this. As I am wiping out his contestants, I don't think he ever liked all of these different Garys. So Gary is going to stay Gary, but now light blue Gary is gone as well, so now we only have got Bedrock Gary left, and he is just really tough, so that is fantastic. But we also have Golden Gary, also known as the big brother of original Gary, Iron Golem Gary, but now it is just Bedrock Gary and me, and he kind of has camouflage. So he is hiding in the corner and now no one can see him anymore, so that is just fantastic. But he has this thing in his eyes which is kind of scary. But right now that doesn't really matter, since we have got a lot of new golems. So we are going to give Gary some new friends that he kind of deserves, to be honest. So we have got a couple of them already in here, and I think that they just look absolutely stunning. We have got TNT Gary, so he is basically a big creeper with a lot of armor. Well, Gary, which is not a great one I suppose. Lapis Lazuli Gary, which is just a darker version of Diamond Gary. Then we have got Hardened Clay Gary in here, which is not Gary but he is just Clay, which is a name I believe. Then we also have got Red Gary in her end. I think that redstone would look fantastic on a Gary. We also have an Ice Cold Gary which is built out of ice. We still have got Bedrock Gary, and now we also have a Dyed Glass Gary, which if he is not asleep then he is going to look fantastic. We forgot SpongeBob Gary, but that doesn't really matter for right now though, because we are going to place the heads on the golems, and we are just going to see what all of them look like when they are done. And as I already said, some of them are just the exact description that I give them. But Wool Gary is looking really cute with his little vest. But Coal Gary is kind of a scary Gary. I believe the red of his eyes just looks really scary with his coal. But I mean, we have got Ice Gary in her who is just looking fantastic. And Glass Gary is just a dark glass one, and he is the creepiest of them all. So, we have got TNT Gary in her, which is basically a creeper. And we have got Dark Glass Gary, which is also a creepy guy, but then in a different kind of style of creepy. But right now we are going to focus more on the things that matter. And kind of the only thing that matters right now is seeing skeletons flying through the air, and they are putting up quite a fight. I believe that Wool Gary is already dead with his cute vest. There are even more dead. TNT Gary is dead, and I don't even remember which other Garys we had, but they are dead as well. And now we just have got Bedrock Gary in here, and I think Bedrock Gary actually likes Lapis Lazuli Gary, so that is just fantastic that he has found a friend right now. And they seem to be amusing themselves with throwing even more skeletons in the air, and I think that they have been built for this. Like literally, I know I built them for this, but they are just really built for this. since I can spawn whatever I want and these golems just fight with them, and most of the times the golems win, but not every time, since there have been a couple of golems that have been killed, which is really sad.